So all the brand new iPhone 12 Pro models were announced last Tuesday, and now you have to make the decision. Which one, if any, should I buy and when? Because they're coming out at different times. We're going to answer that question for you right now. Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. So honest, it hurts. Thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. If this is your first time here and you want to come on back again, like and subscribe and bell notify yourself. And if you've been here before, thank you guys ever so much. Painfully Honest Tech community has been so awesome. If you haven't already bell notified yourself and you are subscribed, hit that bell so that you know every time there's a new video, live stream, any of those kinds of things. And think about becoming a Painfully Honest Tech member by hitting that button down below and finding out all the fun things that you can get by being a member of the channel. Back to the iPhone 12. Announced on Tuesday, tomorrow you can pre-order. Now you can't pre-order all of them. You can pre-order the 6.1-inch models. That's the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro. The iPhone 12, $799. The iPhone 12 Pro, $999. In a few weeks, you can pre-order the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, 5.4, 6.7 inches respectively. So, which one, if any, should you consider? Let's do a little bit of a breakdown and talk about it, because there are a few things to consider here. Now, first off, let's talk iPhone 12. What is new, what is fancy, what is shiny about the iPhone 12? Well, we've got a brand new design here. We've got a brand new design squared off around the edges, a new color in the blue, a different kind of color in the green, different size in the iPhone mini, and the iPhone 12 itself is a little bit thinner and lighter than it was previously. We've also got on the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini, for the first time ever, OLED screens. Now, they've had LCD screens in the past. They have not been bad screens, but they have not been the best screens that you can get. And OLED is just about the best screen technology out there that you can get in a smartphone. Of course, with a new iPhone, you've always got a brand new processor, A14 Bionic, in this year's phone, which is it's supposedly going to be 50% faster than any other processor that is in any other smartphone anywhere, period. According to Apple, benchmarks are just starting to come out. We'll all know the truth of it all when we finally get the phones in our hands next week. So with the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, you're going to get a nice upgrade in terms of the chip. Couple of things that stood out to me about the iPhone 12 and its camera: f1.6 aperture, dual lenses. That you've got night mode on both sides, on the front and the back cameras, and you've also got night mode time lapse, which is a nice thing. iPhone 12 Pro. We've got new design, we've got new colors, we've got all kinds of camera stuff that's different this year. The camera is where things really get interesting with the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max. The iPhone 12 Pro is going to have 3 lenses and a LiDAR system. For both cameras on the Pro models, you'll be able to shoot at what Apple is calling Apple Pro RAW, which is a RAW format so that you don't have to sort of process anything down. You can edit the photos right on the phone at a much deeper level than was possible before. And then also, you're going to be able to shoot at 4K 60 frames per second, HDR, Dolby Vision, and edit that film on your phone as well, which is something that's incredible. That haven't really been able to do that with a mobile phone ever. And of course, you've got some new colors in the Pro models. You've got silver, you've got graphite, you've got gold, and you've got a blue. And the blue is okay. The gold looks really good. The silver and the graphite look good. The graphite looks a little darker than it did last year, but it's always hard to tell until you get the things in your hands. Now, why shouldn't you consider buying an iPhone 12? For one, they did a lot of talking about 5G in this Apple launch event, and the guy from Verizon was there, and it was just a big deal. I don't doubt that 5G is going to get a big boost right now in terms of Apple going all 5G with all of their phones and the rollout of 5G nationwide. But it should be known that 5G is not ubiquitous. 5G is not everywhere. It's probably going to still take some time for 5G to be available everywhere. 5G is still a good ways off for a lot of people, and once 5G really becomes everywhere, they're not going to turn off 4G or anything else. So if you have an iPhone 11 or a 10s or an iPhone 11 Pro or 10s Max or something like that, you don't have to worry about losing phone signal because 5G is coming. So I just feel like it's important to say that because a lot of people might be confused. Another thing you need to know about these iPhones is that they do not come with a charger, the actual brick that you plug into the wall, and they do not come with headphones anymore, which might seem crazy to you, but Apple has talked about being eco-friendly and reducing waste, etc., etc. I guess they think everybody has a charger. If you do have a charger, great. Then you don't have to worry about it. There are third-party chargers available. Apple itself is still going to sell the 5-watt charger. They have a 20-watt charger, and then they have that MagSafe charger. But from what I hear, that MagSafe charger, when you buy that, you just get the magnet and the cord, and you still have to buy a little charging brick. So as much as I admire anybody trying to do some eco-friendly kind of stuff, I think Apple's also going to make money hand over fist on this particular thing. Headphones, a lot of people use the headphones that come in the box still. It's true. And yes, I know there's wireless headphones and all this other stuff out there, but you're not going to get the headphones for free anymore. They'll still be available. I think they cost $20. There's going to be some additional costs if you need a charger, if you want a fast charger, if you need to have the headphones and you don't have them. They're kind of trying to split the difference here because 5G is more expensive to implement into a phone, not to mention the fact that not having a charger makes it possible for them to have a smaller box, which will help them in shipping costs and printing costs and all these different things. The last little thing that I'm concerned about is potentially battery life. Last year, iPhones had a huge jump forward in battery life, and I can't see them sort of moving backwards and going to worse battery life again, but the batteries in these iPhones are smaller, and with 5G implemented in there, there's a couple of things that could be happening. Either the batteries are smaller, but you're getting efficiencies from the new chips that will allow them to last longer, and maybe the 5G isn't as much of a battery hog as you might think it would be. Be that as it may, we're going to have to wait and see whether or not battery life is impacted by these new technologies. And that would be the only other thing that I would be hesitant to upgrade because of. iPhones have always been expensive, and it used to be that you just had to pay whatever Apple was asking, and that was how it worked. But in the past few years, Apple has really sort of made their line a lot larger. You've got the iPhone SE for $400. Apple's made it a lot easier to get into an iPhone. These new models are basically staying the same price that they've been for the past 2 or 3 years. The 12 has gone up by about $50. There was no mini before. The 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max are the same prices that they've been for the past few years as well. So in a year where a lot of Android manufacturers have jumped the price up to offset the price of 5G, Apple has been able to find a way to keep their prices pretty much the same. The real question here is the iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Mini, 12 Pro Max, are they worthy upgrades from the phone models that came before? The proof will be in the pudding, but as I see it right now, Apple has done a great job of taking the really good phones that they had last year and somehow improving them to the point where it does, in my mind, make sense to consider these new models if you're considering a new phone. I'm impressed with what they've done on paper. I'm looking forward to getting one in my hands later on this week, and then I'm going to ultimately get the models that are coming out later. So there'll be reviews here on the channel coming soon if you want to wait and see. But if you're asking the question, should I upgrade to an iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Max, 12 Mini, whatever, my recommendation at this moment is cautiously yes. Maybe more enthusiastically, yes, after I use the phone. But Apple has done a good job of really improving the models that they had over last year, and so that might be enough to sway you. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, though. Do you think that this is worth upgrading to? What is it that would keep you from upgrading? I know there's some people out there who think there are things that should or should not be there that are and are not there, so that keeps them from wanting. We'll talk down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, please hit the bell. Notify yourself when the videos are coming out. Consider joining the channel as a member to help me get this stuff done. It really does help out quite a lot. I've got some merchandise down below that you can peruse if you're interested in any Painful and Honest Tech merchandise. As I said, my name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.